baby said, boy, you ain't cool anymore. Your hair is a mess and your shirts are all tore. Now thinking about your future is a thing of the past. You better shoot for first if you want us to last. Your hip factor surely up for review. Now there's something that you need to do. I think it's time for a hip replacement. You got to pull yourself up out of the basement. The clock is ticking 'cause you used to be cool, but you ain't anymore. And your ceiling is another man's floor. You out of touch and time is a-wasting. It sure is time for a hip replacement. She said, now baby, you is way out of style. You ain't from Egypt, but you swim in denial. You give a damn's broke and you're so complacent. Ain't no need to examine the patient. The doctor says the diagnosis is in and the operation's got to begin. I think it's time for a hip replacement. You got to pull yourself up out of the basement. The clock is ticking 'cause you used to be cool, but you ain't anymore. And your ceiling is another man's floor. You out of touch and time is a-wasting. I think it's time for a hip replacement. When you're playing the game, you got to know how to do. You got to raise the stakes with some real appeal. You can talk some trash and act a fool, but there ain't no substitute for cool. I think it's time for a hip replacement. You got to pull yourself up out of the basement. The clock is ticking 'cause you used to be cool, but you ain't anymore. And your ceiling is another man's floor. You out of touch and time is a-wasting. I think it's time for a hip replacement. You got to pull yourself up out of that basement. It sure is time for a hip replacement. Greetings, this is Andy Peake from here in Nashville, Tennessee, sharing some homemade sounds from my command center, Big Little Recording. That was, of course, Hip Replacement, a song I wrote for my recently released album entitled Mood Swings. Mood Swings can be purchased directly from my website, www.andypeake.com. As well as all major download and streaming sites. Along with my vintage guitar-loving buddy, John Prestia, songwriter and guitar tech to the stars, we would really like to thank Vintage Guitar Magazine for giving my album some love in the October 2021 issue. Be sure and grab a copy of Vintage Guitar Magazine and we can both read about what they had to say about my new album, plus get your fix of guitar nourishment. So, John, now that I've held those signs up in front of your face, they can see you now. Speaking of vintage guitars, what did you bring with you for our jam today?
Well, Andy, we have here a 1966 Gretsch Chet Atkins, like 6120, completely stock, completely original, very nice shape as you can see. And we're running back through a 1966 Fender Princeton Reverb, also completely stock and original.
I love this. This is so cool that the F-holes are not really F-holes.
No, they're faux holes.
That's a great sounding guitar, though. I got to tell you, it is
Yeah, I do
wonderful.
love it. It belongs
Yeah.
to a friend of mine, so
Yeah.
if he gets it back, we'll see about that.
Okay. So this is a wonderful acoustic you have back here, also.
Yeah, we've got a J45. You know, you have to have a J45 hanging around if you're going to be recording or playing live.
I guess I better get a J45.
Or come and get mine.
Okay. All right. I got a feeling that's going to stay where it is. John has a remarkable collection of gourmet guitars at a secret location in Nashville that we all refer to as the Tone Zone. And you can see here and hear John regularly on tour and online with his buddy Tim McGraw. Well, hey, we'd like to thank you for dropping by and having a listen. A lot of folks are talking about the album Mood Swings these days, and a lot of people are always talking about Vintage Guitar Magazine. See you soon.